Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Big Boy Doing Big Things while banging out badass one-liners and bashing funny bones and building bodacious breaks in the middle of bad boy bits. Uncle Gary got some giggles while growling out a gong joke at an open mic in a Walmart one time episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
There is no Drew this week.
Correct.
And that is unfortunate. But since he's not here, we have compensated with another person in the room. Tom, will you do the honors?
Joining us this week in the Days Grimm studio is Dustin, a.k.a. Bubba Mattesson. How are you?
I'm doing great, everybody.
I forgot all the different voices until right before we started the show.
Dude, just your regular voice is enough to, like, really just get me pumped.
Oh, yeah, because this is my real voice, and...
It sounds like you're doing a voice, though. Like, every time...
which is funny, when I wake up in the morning, I actually have a much deeper voice that actually sounds like I was born with testicles, but... Sadly, as the day goes on and the octaves get higher, it's just to the point where I'm here now wondering everyone at home who's just listening is thinking that you let a 12-year-old boy in the room. Or girl, sorry.
And then, so it's funny we talk about, you sound like you have testicles when you first wake up. That's funny. Have you ever heard of castrado?
No.
Castrado? And you Google me on this and make sure I'm not spouting pure bullshit. But back in the 1700s, 1800s, this is like European, not American, but way back in the day. I don't know how to spell it. But basically, way back in the day, it was popular because women weren't doing music then, but it was popular for males to castrate oneself. Yeah. Yeah, they would. So right here is a male singer who underwent castration before puberty. That's important. Before puberty, in order to retain singing voice equivalent to that of a soprano, mezzo-soprano, or contralto. I don't know how you say that, but the voice can also occur in one who, due to an endocrinological condition, never reaches sexual maturity. So essentially, they were like purposefully castrating young men if they had musical talent. Like if they could sing soprano, they would be like, "Oh, you sound really good. Let's schwack your fucking nuts off, dude."
Oh yeah, they just take them to the neighborhood vet.
Have you ever heard of Heath Cordes?
I've heard of. Oh, good. Yeah.
Isn't this guy great?
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube and or if you're listening on Spotify or whatever, and you're not watching on YouTube, I highly suggest you pause here and switch over. This kid is fucking. He's a Kill Tony regular now, and goddamn,
he's a golden ticket.
Or he's a golden ticket. He's on there often. But damn, he's so funny. Damn, and he's what, 26?
He's 21.
And he looks like he has.
Look like he just walked out of a spelling bee in 8th grade.
Yeah,
right.
He looks like Benjamin Button's cousin. It's fucking terrifying. If Benjamin Button and Dahmer fucked and made a child, that's fucking exactly. So never mind. You don't have to switch to YouTube. Just imagine
that's a visual. Like
Benjamin Button and Jeffrey Dahmer made a child. That's exactly.
I kind of wonder if, he'd look at Benjamin Button and be like, I wonder what he would taste like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Dustin, let's catch up a little bit here since you've been on the last time.
When was it? April last year.
April, almost 1 year.
April 18th, episode 120.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Yeah, thank you so much. My hands hurt from doing flooring. So, and also I apologize again we're like living on subfloor right now currently. So thank you for maneuvering and dealing with us.
It's not easy for a guy my size to get around all that stuff,
It's a fucking...
That also, since I see subfloor, I kind of question the structural integrity. If one wrong step and all of a sudden, why am I down on the first floor again?
When did you guys put an elevator in? No, and that was one thing I was worried, and it won't make you feel any better. This house is 125 years old. So it would definitely make you feel... But what should make you feel better is this used to be an attic, and then it wasn't a livable space, but in the 80s, some guy came through, stripped out the attic, put supports all through it. So really, upstairs is like a 1980s model.
Well, he had to in the 80s because that's where you got to put the, prisoners.
Yeah, so 100%. Yeah, I agree. But so it's definitely been a task. So thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for dealing with the mess.
And thank you for getting us some filler comedians in while we needed some help with scheduling.
Oh, no problem, man.
It's been great getting comedians in because that's like my favorite kind of guest to interview. That and musicians are typically my favorite.
Need more? I got plenty who could just come out here just for the heck of it.
I met a few that I really liked at Damsel's last Saturday.
I've really got to go there sometime.
One's name was Zach.
Pollard?
Yep.
Pollard.
I'm not sure. I actually haven't met him in person.
But yeah, funny shit. So funny story about Zach, and I can say this because he won't see this. So funny story, but he like takes the stage as like third in order or second in order. So he's not the opener, but he's not closing or whatever. So he's just kind of in the mix. And it's not an open mic, I should preface, but he walks up there with fucking note cards. And I don't know this guy from Adam. And I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, great. You know, this guy's going to stumble through some note cards.
But William Montgomery uses note cards.
Right. Well, there's not a lot of William Montgomerys around here. So I was hesitant. Dude goes up and literally is, while drinking a Busch Light, he was also flicking through note cards like a fucking madman, had beautiful pauses, great stage awareness, great timing, just great jokes. I fucking had one joke that didn't land. And it was... what the fuck? I wish I could remember what it was. I would say it, but I can't remember what it was. And he hit the line and it was just dead. But everything else, his other 20 jokes just murdered. And I was like, all 12 people that were in that room were fucking laughing. I was like, God damn it, dude. I gotta get this guy in the fucking podcast stat. We need to write him. So don't forget. Yeah. But yeah, I met him and a few others that are just really, really great up there. It's a nice little spot. It needs work. They need some better lighting and stuff. But yeah, the PA was pretty good. Just a good time, man. So.
And you just got new equipment.
Yeah, I got some new equipment off Timu.
You're
going to have to change your debit card here in like 3 months, but...
Oh, possibly, yeah. Well, no, actually, I use my mother's debit card. So
there you go. You're good.
Oh, dude, fuck it. You're good.
I use her. It's her account. I don't bother keeping it because it's like alerts every 5 seconds. Like, ding, sale on diapers.
Yeah. What the?
Ding, sale on Depends. Ding, dildos. Wait, what?
God damn it, Mom.
One of these things is not like the other. And why is this showing up on my mom's account?
I don't need the diapers, but I might check this other thing out. So anyway, so what's been going on with you? What's news? I haven't seen you in a year. What's happening?
No, I'm trying to be more healthy lately. I went from working a graveyard shift. I was working 12 hours a night, 4 nights a week. Now I'm working days. I started only like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm no longer a vampire, which means I can get now and take vitamin D and not wonder if I'll turn to dust.
Nice, dude.
I mean, like, 3 weeks is enough time to probably feel the difference, too.
Oh, yeah. I've noticed like in the last week or so, I'm positive, I'm chipper, I'm less bitchy. People come up to me and it's like, wow, you're an evil psychopath. It's like, yeah, I know. It's great. I love it. Where's caffeine? Oh.
Yeah.
Gave up soda last week.
Oh, gross, dude. Oh, that's got to be rough.
So, like, what have you substituted instead of soda?
Tea.
Lots
of tea.
What about coffee?
I don't drink coffee. I hate coffee.
Can you get around it?
No.
There's no way you'll drink a coffee. There's not a coffee.
I have tried multiple brands. It just none of it.
Different styles.
It's just
though?
too bitter.
I'm not a big coffee person either, but I get mine I get a frozen coffee and then I get caramel and oat milk. And
with all the extra sugar in there, it's like you kind of defeat the purpose of trying to. Like I drink unsweet tea. I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. Unsweet tea with lemon. That's my personal.
What about
favorite.
like any of these like healthier alternative energy drinks out there that are like no sugar and stuff like that?
I do like some of them. I'm a fan of Rockstar Recovery Orange.
Okay.
It's only got 25 calories, so it's not that bad. So I'll have one of those in the morning to start me off in the day.
No sugar in that.
Not much, almost little, and it's mostly B vitamins.
It's almost better to have the sugar than like what they're putting in a lot of those like athletic energy drinks, if you will, like Alani Nu and stuff. They have they'll use a lot of like aspartame and like some other artificial sweeteners, which can be problematic on over a long course of time.
Fuck me, dude. I've been drinking like 2 or 3 of them a day.
Well, I don't know about Alani Nu, but a lot of companies like Celsius, I think they use a stevia. I think they use a stevia sweetener, which is a plant. It's a plant. It's a naturally sweet plant that they like put into the beverage, and that's the sweetener. So it's not synthetically man-made in a chemical lab like aspartame is,
or cocaine,
or methamphetamines.
I would prefer cocaine.
You know what I mean?
Liquid cocaine. Yeah, cool.
Dude, I would check that out, honestly.
I will say this though. Yeah, in the town that my day job is, they just opened up a new Mexican grocery, which I love that place. I've only gone there like a couple of times now. I have not gone on the weekends when the hot deli is open. Because,
whoa. Hot deli.
Yes, they have a hot deli there. They'll have like, all kinds of stuff like fried fish, tamales.
Oh, so they're cooking this stuff. Okay, all right. I was like, are these room temperature meats? Like, what's going on here?
Oh, yeah, it's fresh. They only open for like lunch during the weekends.
I got you. So they're doing like plate lunch type stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I really want to go in there because I really want to try real deal homemade tamales. I want to get that.
I fucking love tamales, dude.
But they have like the Mexican made Coca-Colas in the glass bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so much better tasting. They actually have real cane sugar in them. They're so good.
There might actually be a little residual cocaine in there as well. The jury's out.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know the Gulf Cartel or the Sinaloa Cartel. Just like, hey, we're going to transport in this. Make sure you don't mix them up. One's got sugar, one's got cocaine. How do you test that? It's like, all right, Jorge, have one. It's like, okay, is his head exploding? Okay. That one's the cocaine. And someone get him up.
Or just rub a little on your gums, and if it goes numb, that's the one with coke in it.
Oh, so that's what that was. I never knew that.
Yeah. So back in the day, I know a lot about history. Back in the 1800s, they used to use cocaine medicinally for oral surgery, like during Abraham Lincoln's time. So,
salt, whiskey, lye.
Salt, whiskey, laudanum. They would use laudanum, but you're close. And then they would put cocaine on your gums. Like if they were going to extract a tooth and it'll make it go numb enough, yank that fucker right
just
out.
Normally lick your finger and put it on the mirror and then do that.
Yeah. Well, that's why some people will like clean up their line or whatever. And like,
I kind of wonder what point, like, where after they did that, like, was there a dentist going there? Well, wait, back in that day, your dentist was also your barber, your doctor,
your veterinarian,
your mortician, and also...
And your dad. He's also your dad.
Yeah, and so, like, really, I kind of wonder what point we're like, all right, let me get ready for your haircut. Wow! Give me get the scissors.
They're not even clippers. You know what I mean? He's just shaking and they're cut.
They're just shearing the hair off. No, but I really do know a tremendous amount about history, and the more that we dive into weird shit like that, I don't know why that I know it. But sometimes we'll talk about shit and it just like rings.
Dude, I saw this theory that like when the Jews left Egypt. And they were talking about manna coming down from heaven, that it was really just a type of, God bless you.
Thank you.
It was a type of, it was like a type of insect that was like found on the plants after the morning dew, and that they would take that and they would grind it to make like bread.
What the fuck are you getting into, dude?
Bug bread.
Essentially, yeah.
Fuck are you getting into on your
Guaranteed to be high protein.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're pushing nowadays.
Yeah. Low carb, high protein, you know?
I mean, you can buy cricket flour on Amazon.
Yeah, a lot of places are doing that now.
They do crickets like in bowls, like at like banks and stuff in like Costa Rica.
I know, like,
they like
Mexican,
have them out.
Mexican snack food, you could buy them in cans with like roasted peanuts and chilies. Cheap.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's fucking strange, man.
I want to try it at least once.
No, I think I would try just about anything one time. But anyways, okay, so we've kind of caught up. And for everybody that hasn't seen episode 120, you are in fact a stand-up comedian. You're not just an inherently funny person here for no reason.
Yes.
But yeah, you are a stand-up comedian. So there's that.
I also feel like you're more than just a stand-up comedian. You're not a manager of comedians, but like you low-key are a manager of comedians.
I'd say I'm a promoter.
Right. Yeah, that's the word.
I put together shows, I book them, and I create advertising for them for what I can, and like, I mean, I'm limited with some of my resources, but I try to do my best.
Do you have like a comedian group message of like you and some friends?
I kind of do. I have like whenever I'm booking people, once I have people booked up, I'll set up a messenger group chat. Like, it's like, all right, this is the show. It's got in the description of it, it's got the location, time, and like how much time you guys are doing. That's just how we can keep everyone in that particular show informed, and it works out really well.
Do you have like after 9/11, the airports had like today's level red? Do you have like that for like this is a blue color event? You know, where like
that's actually a good idea. I mean, like, yeah. So it's like, okay, we're going to be working in a rural town, small town crowd. It's going to be kind of questionable whether or not you can use any jokes that involve politics, LGBTQ, or God. So have fun with that.
But also, racism's a go, guys.
Oh, yeah, racism. It's like, yeah, because there's a rebel flag right behind the stage.
Yeah, so you're good. Say whatever you want. No, that's crazy. No, you should consider that. You should have like different, like blue collar should be like code blue. You know what I mean? Like if you're out in the rural, there you go. Look at that. We got a code blue.
Yeah, we had a shit show. I think it was
code
like,
level brown. You know,
that was like so. Andy, Emily, Chris Izzy, and myself, as well as another friend of ours, Molly Farlander. She is really funny. We did this gig over in, I'm not going to say the name of the town, but it's in Clinton County, Illinois. And this roadhouse kind of place. And it was, so I didn't know. I had been there previously just as a patron because I went to vacation up there at Lake Carlisle.
Okay.
It was really neat. And
we're slowly narrowing down where this town is at, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's anyway, in this county. There's a lake there. It's named this.
It's Cajun themed.
But I'm not naming the fucking town. You hear me?
Yeah. So, and also the bathrooms have some great decor in it. Like there was right in by the urinals. There was right in front of you. Right when you're taking a leak, you look down and you see scratched into the wood. It says, for gay butt stuff, call 555-51. Should I be really mentioning this number here? So
yeah, maybe we leave that out.
Have you ever called any of those bathroom numbers?
Have I? I'm not looking for gay butt stuff, dude.
I'm just saying.
Well, for all I know, you could just get some call center in India going, "Hello, you get ready for the gay butt stuff."
They outsource it.
What if it's a fucking magazine? And then you get this fucking Indian fella. Hello, are you trying to subscribe to the gay butt stuff?
He says, "Gay butt stuff monthly. Can I help you?"
I do a horrible Indian accent, so it sounds like appropriation.
By the way, my name is Malcolm, and I am from El Paso, Texas.
Isn't that the best when you get the like Eastern guy on the phone and he's like, "Hello, would you like da?" And
my name is Dan.
Yeah, my name is Steve. It's like, don't fucking, your name's not fucking Steve, bro.
Oh yeah, I had like sometimes though when an accent does not match the way the person looks,
I know.
It sends you in an existential crisis. I went to a Thai restaurant. I went in there. I got seated. I didn't get spoken to. I was just like, okay, there. Opened there. I sat down, and this lady who came up to me. Obviously, she was Thai. She looked the part. She came up to me. I hadn't said anything yet. She handed me a menu, and I looked there, and I was like, ask about our specials. I was like, okay. It's like, hey, what's the special? It's like, oh, we get the pad Thai right now. There, that don't you know that great stuff. I was like, huh?
You ever seen like the one guy that works at like a foreign restaurant? And he's like a white guy.
Oh no! like he's the black sheep.
Like he does not belong. It's like that one white guy that hangs out with a group of all black people. That he's the craziest guy in the group.
You're Machine Gun Kelly,
right?
Yeah. This lady came out there like, oh yeah, we get the pad Thai there, don't you know? I was like,
yeah.
I was like, are you from Thailand? I was like, oh, yeah, I'm from Thailand. I was born there, but then I was raised in Wisconsin.
That's atrocious.
It's like my mom, she was born in Thailand too, but but my dad met her in Dublin. So she comes out there, this little old lady, like,
she's got potatoes falling out of her pockets. Top of the morning to you. She drops a potato.
Yeah. Here's a crumpet.
Yeah. Here's a biscuit, bitch.
I'll give you Irish soda bread.
It's wild, dude.
Right next to the green curry and it's like Irish soda bread. I was like, this does not go together.
I wish that there was more white on white angst. I love, and by that I mean like There's so many different like cultures in Europe that do so many like I don't know how to say this, but like Dublin is a good example. They do fucking weird fucking shit, and they're all for the most part historically, white, Euro, Asian, whatever people. But I wish there was more like joke writing about that, like from the white man's perspective, talking shit about other white.
Yeah,
like there needs to be more white on white hate.
Dublin, after like 5 p.m., you can't understand any of their words unless you live there because they're just like a drunken slur of Irish.
But if you're drunk and you're Irish, you're tracking.
They're speaking cursive.
Oh yeah, I'm like, I kid you not, I would talk to a drunk Irish guy and I'd have my Google Translate ready, and then like all it is like they'd go on for 5 minutes saying one sentence, and then Google Translate comes on. So, do you want a drink?
Yeah. What?
It took you 5 minutes just to say that?
Yeah, imagine that new AI that they have in like the Samsung phones where like, so somebody in Mexico can talk to you in Spanish and then it translates in live time to your ear so you hear it in English.
Oh, tight.
But could you imagine talking to like somebody that's just like wasted speaking English somewhere else and then it comes through like super clean?
Yeah.
That'd
super shit.
Oh yeah, it's like you know where I could get some good tacos.
And then it comes through their earbud like, do you know where to get some good tacos? And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Okay, we're getting way off track. I want to bring it home. Let's tighten it up.
Sorry.
So we're having way too much fun. We gotta get a little sad. You've been on the show before, right, sir?
Yes.
Episode 120. Shout out to April 18th. Never forget. That being said, it's that time. We're gonna do the death of the week. I'm not super thrilled about it.
The death of the week.
This week's death of the week. Bubba, you are all too familiar with this segment. So here we go. We're just going to fire it up. This is the first time I'm reading this article. I have no idea what's happening.
As crime.
Yeah. Source for this is WFMY News 2, the number 2.com. Okay, so under the crime section, as Thomas was kind enough to point out, we have car passenger dies while stopping along Texas highway to pee. Derek Tate, the vehicle's driver, told police he stopped along the highway so that he and another passenger could go to the bathroom. Tate's vehicle was struck while the two men were urinating. And it goes on to say, in Dallas, a man is dead after stopping along the highway to urinate, per CBS DFW reports. The incident happened just before 1 a.m. early Friday along Interstate 30 in Dallas.
Late Thursday.
What did I say?
No, I'm just saying 1 a.m. early Friday is late Thursday.
Super late Thursday. These gentlemen might have been leaving Roadhouse. That being said, it goes on to read, when police arrived at the scene, they found a pair of damaged vehicles in the right lane of the highway. The driver of a red Mercedes said that she saw a green Honda stopped in the lane but did not have enough time to slow down and avoid a crash. The red car slammed into the rear end of the green car, causing injuries to several people inside the two vehicles. Moreover, 5 people had been inside the stopped Honda, but 2 of them exited the car before it was hit. Derek Tate, the vehicle's driver, told police he stopped along the highway so that he and another passenger could go to the bathroom. So Tate's vehicle was struck while the 2 men were urinating. The other man was killed during the crash, but details surrounding the death are still under investigation. The victim has only been described as a black male. His name and age are still unknown. He was not carrying identification at the time of the incident. Two of the passengers who remained inside the Honda were injured and taken to Baylor Medical Center at Dallas in serious condition. 1 man dislocated his leg and hip. God damn. While 1 woman suffered a broken arm. Boo fucking who. Officials did not say anything about the fifth person in the vehicle. Law enforcement officials determined that Tate was, in fact, intoxicated at the time of the incident. He was arrested and charged with 2 counts of intoxication assault causing serious bodily injury. Authorities explained that Tate's decision to stop his car in the highway resulted in 2 passengers being injured. The driver of the Mercedes was not detained by the police. And this is 28. Go to the top, Tom, please. This is 20. No, the very top. Oh yeah. This is January 2018. Just a roundabout rough time reference.
This is wild to me that the driver who is not in the vehicle got 2 counts of intoxication assault only because he parked in the middle of the highway.
He was in control of the vehicle.
Shoulder.
He was in control of the vehicle, so he's clearly driving intoxicated. So that
wasn't driving then.
Should have been a DUI, but he's parked. Keys are out of the car probably at this point, so you're not going to get a DUI. However, I think it is fair to assume that, like, hey, a drunk guy driving decided to fucking stop on the goddamn Interstate 30 to take a leak.
4 other people in the car.
He stopped in the road. He didn't pull over to the shoulder. Yeah. So in other words, this is obviously a beer piss situation.
Yeah,
but 4 other drivers or 4 other people in the car were like, "No, you can park here."
No, you let her rip, dude.
And this is in Texas. Texas does have an open container. You can have an open container in the vehicle
counties,
as long as you're not the driver.
In counties.
Oh, yeah.
In counties. It varies county to county.
Gotcha.
Varies county
For
to
all we
county.
know, the other 3 guys could have been passed out in the back seat going, hurry up, bull. Are we home yet?
And then they woke up when their fucking hip got dislocated. Jesus fucking Christ. Could
Yeah,
you imagine?
I mean, what if he was so drunk he didn't even remember it, so he wakes up in the morning, so who did I do last night to dislocate a hip?
Yeah, no shit. Who is really giving it to me? Because my hip hurts. No, what I really love about this article is about halfway through, you notice that they immediately stupefy the entire article. They've told you now what the vehicles are, but now they only refer to them in shades of color. They're like, red car hit green car. It's on side road. Bada beep boop. Dislocated hip. You know, and like, fucking, dude, like, who wrote this fucking thing? What's the name of the guy who wrote this fucking thing? Tom, find out who fucking wrote this thing. Go to the top. Is there a fucking dickhead's name attached to this?
No, it says author CBS News.
Nah, that checks out. CBS sucks. Okay.
But,
That means
no.
you're fucking gonna defend CBS, bro? Don't do it.
I was just gonna say, like, if this was written any earlier than 2018 with mail-in ballots, where they were talking about blackmail with no identification.
Oh, yeah, this is before Greg Abbott went totally psycho.
Yeah, dude.
The man stands for nothing but America.
So I don't have to bleep a name in that, right? They never stated the name. I kind of blacked out.
I mean,
when I
they
read
do
that.
right here.
They said the driver's name, Derek Tate.
Yeah, but he didn't die. He didn't die.
No, he was just arrested.
Yeah, so fuck him, dude. No, but so the guy that died is the black guy with no identification, correct? Is that what I'm gathering?
You guys identify most likely he could have been underage because usually they release that information unless they're underage.
Yeah, sub or pre-adult, not 18.
Maybe he
or
was
17.
from Haiti, and that's why he didn't have any
Dude.
identification.
That car smelled like weed then, I promise.
Maybe, or that cocaine.
They got good weed in
Texas. Yeah, it's not
the
bad.
No, I'm saying in the Haitian territories.
Oh,
yeah, dude, Jamaica.
Oh, yeah, when there's not, genocide. So.
Dude, Jamaica's like
we talked
half
about
on fire. You don't leave the reservation when you go to Jamaica.
We talked about your buddy that we had on who went on.
Yeah, Bailey Binky for his...
it wasn't Bailey Binky.
Yeah,
no, his last name was not Binky.
Yeah, he went there for his wedding reception, or honeymoon.
For Bailey Binky's wedding reception, yes. But the guy that we had on the show, his name was not Bailey Binky. I know Bailey Binky. This guy did not know. This is the homesteaded guy who did like all the live chickens and stuff on his house. I can't remember his name. You could look up our episodes and I could point him out. The name escapes me. But either way, he was talking about when he went to Jamaica or whatever, and he was like getting on the bus, and him and his wife were like just looking for a good time. And they were like, "So where's the party at?" And then what did the guy say? He was like, "You want Coke?" Or something.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And the bus driver was like, "Are you looking for Coke?" In Jamaica.
Figured they would. He was like, instead of saying coke, he was like, "You want some spliff?"
No, they don't fuck around in Jamaica, apparently. Okay, I don't know if you've killed the music yet, but that's this week's Death of the Week, brought to you by My Internal Sadness and Bush Light.
So, Dustin, tell us about this Facebook page. We run our social media, and like running social media can be a nightmare sometimes.
It sucks.
So,
It sucks
like
balls.
Pop-Up Comedy Club Facebook page. Let's dwell on this for a few minutes. How long do you think you've had this page?
A long time, but it was very inactive until I reopened the club like last year. So I'd say it's been around maybe 7-8 years.
I like that it's called the Pop-Up Comedy Club because like you put on events at different venues. Like you never really know which venue it's going to be at.
I also like that you use the word folks. And if I may, when you use the word folks, do you say folks?
Yeah.
Folks.
Folks, no, it's not like I come in there with some kind of New England like that. Hey, folks, how are you?
I got a kin in my family who says folks when he refers to people.
It also kind of like depends on like in the context. Like, hey, folks, how's it going? And then or folks, fine.
But you don't emphasize. You never emphasize the L, right? I just find that people that emphasize the L when referencing a group of people and not music, that shit fucking bothers me.
But I do like it that like it's like almost like a group for comedians to come together. Like here you've got like Someplace Else Nightclub does a monthly show, Damsels does a weekly show, Rooftop does an occasional show, Jennings Street the first Thursday of every month. I'm
all for inclusion.
Yeah, and it helps, like, and for those of you in the tri-state area that have no idea what we're fucking talking about, go to Facebook and search the Pop-Up Comedy Club and click the first one that's in Evansville, Indiana.
Literally, this is the only pop-up comedy club company in the United States. There's 2 others. One's in Australia, one's in Europe.
So, dude. Yeah.
Are you going to think about like getting one of those giant event tents and like just literally pop up?
tent, yeah. I thought about that.
I've thought that a good idea for, you know how like street performers, sometimes they have to get licensing or whatever, depending on what it is you're trying to do. But like short of that, I mean, you can literally just like go to the bank on Main Street and just like set up your PA and a little tent and, you know, whatever. And then you just start popping off and doing your little balloon animals or cylindrical fucking whatever that guy was doing that you were talking about.
Last year, me and Andy went to high school, our saloon. And as we were leaving there was a guy playing an accordion on the street corner, which honestly was kind of creepy at 11 p.m. So he was like just going, "Hey kids, you want to play around, y'all?"
Hey, you got a light?
Whoa, dude. Also, I've heard that the accordion is actually an aphrodisiac. I don't know if that's true or not.
It's like, why? Is it because you squeeze and pull?
I don't know, man. Jury's out. No, but I think that's cool. So basically what I was getting at is like you get on Facebook, you search these folks up, the Pop-Up Comedy Club, click on this bad boy, and you can see some of the events that we're looking at right now that he's put on. But also it's cool in your opening message that you're mentioning like some of the places to find comedy, which if you live in Evansville, it can be cumbersome to find comedy. It can be.
But I feel like the comedy scene in this area has started to roll downhill and pick up momentum since COVID.
Oh, yeah. It exploded in the last year alone. Just so many places.
What do you think that the perpetuator was? What do you think is putting this thing on?
Probably the catalyst, I'd say, is just...
catalyst is a better way.
I'd say it's everyone wants to get out of the house. They want to go do something. They're tired of... I mean, yeah, you can watch streaming services and everything, but there's no way you can beat something that's live and in person. I honestly... Like, I love wrestling. I'm a big-time wrestling fan. I always have been.
Micro?
No, I've never actually seen that.
You gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Gotta check it out.
But so a couple of years ago, I actually went to a wrestling pay-per-view over at the Coliseum.
Fuck yeah.
And it was for GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, which is a really big indie promotion. They were on tour coming through. And it was a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing it on video it's way different than seeing in person. You get this big feel. Like my mom was there because I gifted her the tickets as a present for her birthday. And this is like 4th of July weekend. We're out there.
Yeah.
She brought her boyfriend at the time, and he'd never been to a wrestling event, period. So we're like second row.
So he hasn't lived yet.
No.
Have you seen any of those non-pay-per-view wrestling? Like there's a place in Illinois that does like small community wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Like up in Vincent's, like I think Tri-State Wrestling is a small group. They do shows over at the Eagles Lodge.
Okay. I'll check that out for sure.
Yeah, it's usually always a charity function. They're always raising money for something.
I like it, man. I really do dig. I dig wrestling. I mean, I know it's not real, but I like to pretend in my brain that it's real. But even if you want to like know going to one and you know that it's fake and you're like, oh, this is bullshit, you at least have to give it to these guys that this dance that they're doing in the arena is so well choreographed that it's just like I mean, it is like a masterful art dance.
Oh, yeah.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, and especially
in a non-gay way, just so we're clear. But,
I'm a fan of deathmatch wrestling.
which is like a bunch of like 10 dudes and it's like the last one.
Not
right?
really. So that pay-per-view I went to, they had one death match, which was like right before the intermission. It was a 3-on-3. They had one team that had Alex Colon. He was a king of the deathmatch champion. They had it's like Mance Warner, a man called Manders. They had like a bunch of things. So we're getting there, we're watching this, and it's going crazy because it's like everything. My mom is a sweet, innocent little lady. Like last time, oh, thank you, sir.
No problem.
Last time I was here, I mentioned like weeks before I had gone to her getting baptized. She's kind of pious in some aspects, but
she's like losing her shit. Fuck them up!
Oh, no, yeah. No, look, she was quiet. She's getting into it and everything. And then the moment when Alex Colon takes a mini tree saw to the forehead and he starts gushing blood, my mom turns on a dime, like, and then she goes, fuck him up! Cut that motherfucker! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Like, and then I look over at her, and like my mom is only like just under 5 foot. I look over at her boyfriend, and his eyes are suddenly really wide, looking at her like he's scared. I remember on the drive home and everything, my mom goes, I look at this guy. He was a real asshole, and thank God she broke up with him. I look at him, I was like, now just remember this: if she got that excited by seeing someone else bleed, if you ever fuck up and hurt her, that could be you.
And she's going to be twice as pumped when I start fucking you up. No, that's funny as fuck, dude. Like, it's so... What about the... Dude, imagine, like, she's the driver. That's what... I don't know. I don't
she
care.
She leaves there and immediately goes to confession.
Yeah,
like,
I don't care how...
She ain't Catholic. There are no confession.
I don't care how the rest of that story goes, only because, like, her losing her mind like that, I can just imagine her being, like, getting in the car and, like, putting her scarf on, and then she, like, makes sure the boyfriend's buckled up and makes sure you're buckled up, and she puts it in drive, and she takes
somebody
off.
cuts her
and
off.
She's like, "Oh man, that was a really great show, wasn't it?" I'm like, "Mom, you fucking said to kill the guy." You know, it's like fucking. Yeah.
And I had the video. I had the video where that exact moment happened, and like I'm watching the thing, and like you hear it right next to me. Fuck him up! Fucking kill him!
I got a question for you though, Dustin. As a promoter for these events and stuff, do you find it harder to write material?
Oh God, yeah.
Time wise.
Yeah, like honestly, because I needed to save money, I tried to do a lot of hosting myself but now I've realized if you're going to be handling things like sound, guiding people to their seats, promoting all that stuff, like
I'll schedule of who goes when.
Because I always show up to a venue like maybe an hour, 2 hours before, so I can get a good amount of time to set up all the equipment and everything, and stage things like any last minute, like, hey, we might need to put some tables over here, that kind of thing.
Do you fuck with lighting at all? Do you have to dick around with lighting?
Not so much. I don't have any lighting gear myself, but usually I try to go with places that have good lighting.
Okay.
Like the Bruceville Rod and Gun Club where we were at last Saturday. That place had great lighting, which that was a really beautiful venue.
Nice. And this is the one you're talking about here?
Yes.
Oh, they do. This isn't a church?
No, that's what the first thing I said when I walked in. I was like, was this ever a church? It's like, oh, no.
Is Jesus here right now?
No, but that is a wedding venue.
Nice, dude. I like that. Beautiful drywall.
They brought in that, they pilfered a U-Haul truck's ramp just so Andy could get up there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up. And beautiful flooring, might I say.
Yeah, apparently they remodeled the last 6 years. The place used to be a place for rum runners and moonshine, like all that stuff, like way back in the mafia days.
Nice, dude.
And so,
fun fact about moonshiners, I know so much about history, I don't know why. And I keep bragging about it like it's a good thing. God, my wife.
Dude, they got a new show now that's like a competition of like moonshine, who can make the best or whatever. It's like,
did you know
like blown away, but like,
did you know back in the day when moonshiners were being tracked down by police?
That's how NASCAR got started.
Well, no, this is when they were like, they'd have to ditch a vehicle and go on foot, or they had like trails they would take to transport A to B, whether it was the moonshine itself, raw materials, whatever. But they would wear these shoes that had heels on them. There'd be a heel in the front and a heel in the back, and it would have a what would imitate
like an animal print.
Yeah, it would imitate an animal, like a hoof print. So later on, when their trail was quote discovered or run up upon, you know, a lawman would look at that and be like, "Oh, those are deer hoofs," or "Oh, that's a steer. That's not."
Right. So do you think, as being a promoter and you're mainly like organizing the shows and having to listen and do all the intro and stuff like that, although it may like hinder the amount of time you go on stage, does it help you write material?
At one point I thought that, but I realize now that it's kind of a bad idea. If you're a promoter and you got to handle, if like the venue doesn't have its own in-house setup where you don't have to bring any gear in, and you're constantly running back and forth and setting up stuff, your ability to memorize a set before going up there is almost next to nil unless you are gifted. Because I realized I had a tough time keeping things together because I was always distracted thinking, is this lighting good? Is the sound great? Last Saturday was a show I didn't host. I was just the sound engineer for. And I found out that things went way better, more smoothly in that aspect for keeping things planned out better. I did carry a mic with me because my setup has two wireless mics. I'd keep one in my pocket, and then right before the show, I'd be like, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bruceville Rod and Gun Club. Get ready to join the Pop-Up Comedy Club, everybody." And then I would introduce someone like Janice Barniak because she was the host that night.
Oh, yeah. And
it worked out really well. And then also it kind of made for some interesting moments because while Emily was up there, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was like the wireless signal got interfered with, and there was a sudden pop, and thank God he has that seatbelt in his wheelchair. He about launched out of it.
Are you?
Could you imagine?
Well, so like, what about like you mentioned that Zach guy? We mentioned William Montgomery. Would you be against note cards?
Note cards are kind of discouraged, unless you have it as part of your act as like a prop. Like, I can imagine like coming up there with note cards and be like, no, this is not good, this is good. It's like, I did have jokes for tonight, people, but most of them are about anally assaulting small farm animals, so unfortunately, we're not going to go with that tonight. So,
yeah, I'm going to switch to my lesbian biker material. Okay, here we go, folks. Hope you're ready. No, I think it's interesting. No, so like,
what about like somebody that's super new, like Brian and I? We've never done stand up, but yeah, we have this
note
whole.
Cards, I think are only appropriate until you memorize it, which is, I'd say, open mics are like probably the safest place. But if you're doing a paid gig, don't bring notes.
Gotcha.
Please have your set memorized. Not only have your set memorized, memorize what you think the pauses should be in between the jokes. Because if you don't have a flow, you're going to talk over the audience, and then they won't hear you.
Pausing brings up a good thing I want to talk about. So if I bring up the term subtext, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Subtext when it comes to joke writing. Can you explain it for the viewer and or listener? Subtext.
Yeah, simply like things would probably have somewhat of a double meaning. You know.
So like I've been looking into joke writing, and I have this really, really demonstrative book that is kind of walking you through how to write a good joke. And one of the key factors that they really emphasize is your subtext. And I wanted to chat on this a little bit and just to kind of pick your brain about it and see what you thought.
Sure.
But like, basically, subtext is the thing that you want to say with your joke, but it's the thing that you don't say. It's the implied. It's the, oh, I get that joke thing. So like, if you get a joke, that means you understood the subtext of what they're actually trying to say, not the physical words that were said or written or put on the YouTube video or whatever.
Yeah, it's
correct?
used,
Is that
yes, and it's
that's
used,
a safe assumption of subtext?
and it's used actually more often in clean comedy than because you can't outright say it, and you kind of want a certain number, like because most of a clean comedy show will have a mix of young and old, but sometimes you want the older people to get the bit, and then you have that little inside joke, like. I have a bit where I say...
Like a Disney movie.
Oh, yeah. Disney movies and also like Nickelodeon cartoon shows in the 90s had tons of it.
Tons of foot stuff, too. Can I get the salt?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, Dan Soderbergh.
Here we go.
But, yeah, I have a bit like... I love Reese's. It's like one of my favorite candies all over. And I love the holiday ones. The holiday ones are like the best because they have more peanut butter.
The egg-shaped ones?
Yeah, the egg-shaped ones. But I always was like, me and my mom loves them too. My mom and I were really upset that they never had one specifically for 4th of July. And then we started having this long discussion, like, how would that work out? And
Would
like,
they just be stars?
you could do that, but the problem is the way the molds are designed. Like, if you ever looked at the tree ones that have trees, there's no edges. You can't do a sharp edge or corner on a mold for a
Look
Reese's.
up a tree Reese's.
Because they have to round them over, otherwise they won't come out properly.
Look up a tree Reese's. You searched up recess.
You get it.
Yeah,
you get it.
There's no actual points on there because they have to round them over, otherwise it'll never come out the mold properly.
ADHD
right.
question here. When
Oh,
you get
Christ.
a chocolate that has a head, do you eat the head first? Like the Santa Claus chocolates or the Easter Bunny chocolates.
Dude, settle down, Dahmer. What's your fucking problem,
well,
dude?
maybe it's because I'm a gay man. I mean, like,
No, I would eat the head off of all of them.
head.
I eat all the head off of the animals.
well, okay. Yeah. I mean, like,
Tom Dustin.
If I go with the Easter one and it's just the rabbit, I'll go for the rabbit head first because the rabbit head, you got to be quick.
Yeah.
Thumper.
You gotta get it.
And
It's
then
like
you
Menudo.
but then when you go for Santa Claus, he comes like, well, I had so many memories with old Saint Nick. I'm just going to take a little nibbles off the hat first, then work my way, and then once I get to the head,
Yeah. No, that's fucking wild, dude.
but yeah. I was saying, like, there's none other, like, my mom goes, like, well, what if they did a flag? I said, well, remember, if they did a flag, they'd have to round off the corners. Instead, you'd look like you got, like, a Reese's brand soap. I mean, you try to wash with that, and you'd have, Wilford Brimley rise from his grave going, you smell like diabetes.
That's the whole dude with the fucking mustache.
And then my mom goes, well, what about, like, rockets, like fireworks? Okay, I gotta think about that for a moment there. If you have to round off
arrowhead? Is this like Indian?
If you have to round off the sharp points of the rocket,
yeah.
and then like that, it's not going to look like a rocket. I mean, your audience is fairly adult. I would say it's going to look like a cock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my mom would go, like, well, then just release it during June. I mean, Pride Month. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
And then my mom goes, like, yeah, it'd be perfect. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you'd have to have 2 flavors, though. You have white chocolate, dark chocolate. Dark chocolate be bigger.
100%.
Only during Black History Month.
So you're, and I'm trying to analyze, is that the whole bit?
Well, I have a little thing I say in there because, like, some people would argue that white chocolate's more satisfying. I'd say I beg to differ.
See the heart-shaped chocolates?
Dude, this dude just holding his fucking dick, dude. What the fuck? Okay, so hold on. So I want to, it just looks like a nutsack, bro.
Yeah, and if you get the dark chocolate one, it's going to look like a dirty nutsack.
Okay, I want to break your bit down. I want to break that bit down. So I don't know what your subtext is, but I know that it has something to do with gay.
Well, the subtext is mainly that...
Or like...
I don't actually go outright and say, it looks like a dick.
Yeah.
I just go in there, it's like, when you take off all the sharp points and round them over on a rocket, it's not going to look like a rocket. And like everyone in the room's like.
So that's your subtext, is that your mom's idea of a rocket Reese's, because of the tree example you gave, it would look like a dick.
Yeah, my mom would be like, I was like, it's like, you know what it's going to look like? It's like, well, then we'll just release it between Mother and Father's Day. And
bro, is that just fallopian tubes?
Yeah,
is that just a vagina?
So. Uterus.
Dude, you're upsetting Dustin. Put that away.
Yeah, I'm horribly offended. Almost as offended as like one of the YouTube reels I saw earlier that said there are some cultures that eat cow vagina, like they literally cook it up and everything. It's like a delicacy, but it's also high in carcinogens.
What the fuck?
This isn't in India though.
How does No, it wouldn't be. But
obviously.
How does it
I don't know. Maybe it's like a certain. I don't know. It just said it's actually increases your risk of cancer eating like a cow's pussy.
I'm trying to bring this all home, but my brain is everywhere right now, and you're just scrolling through madness.
Weird shaped chocolates.
Oh my god,
dude! Speaking of cow pussy, my mom had to go.
Yeah.
My mom's got like
cow pussy now. Yeah,
my mom's got a cattle farm, and this cow.
That's not even the joke. Hold on, it gets better.
This cow wouldn't pass the baby, so that it's like her and a veterinarian both elbow deep, like in a cow.
No,
I've witnessed that in person. That kind of thing.
Yeah, they couldn't get it to pass, so they had to cut a limb off the baby cow. It was already dead inside the mom. They lost the baby.
They
and the
eat
mom.
it. They eat it. Can you eat a cow baby?
Yeah, that's called. God bless you. It's got a special name. Veal. Is it veal?
No, that's when they're
veal
young.
is when they're young and they have not walked. They're milk fed.
So can you eat a baby right out of the? Are you a meat eater?
Sure?
I don't want to piss you off if you're not a meat eater. I don't.
Okay, how do you? This is body by meat. Okay, obviously.
All right. I want to make sure.
You don't have bitch titties like these on a vegan diet. Okay,
dude. If you came out and you're like, no, actually, I'm vegan.
I
would believe you.
You don't bring you don't develop these kind of man boobs on vegetables. I'm sorry,
but no. Do you think? Go back. Can you eat a cow right out of the womb? Is that sounds really fucked up when you say that in a sentence? Can you just eat it? I don't.
Well, I mean, in Spain, there's a restaurant one of the oldest in the world. Their specialty is roasted suckling pig, which means it's milk fed. It's never tasted grass in its life, and it's a baby pig.
Oh, you want to know about eating babies out of the womb, dude? Hold on, here we go. Veal comes from male calves or baby cattle who are killed at just a few months old. The outlook for male calves in the dairy industry is grim. They are often slaughtered within hours.
Basically, nobody wants male cows because they serve no real purpose.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless they're perfect for breeding stock. I mean,
right.
But speaking of eating right out of the womb, we had a guy on, Matt Murphy. Matt Murphy.
Yeah.
Is that the pastor?
Yep.
Yeah, we had a pastor on, Matt Murphy. He traveled to the Philippines. Do you know about this?
Oh yeah, I have
the egg.
Yeah, balut. I've had that.
You've had that with the beak, and you crunch the bones and stuff.
Sides a little bit. I used to work in an Asian restaurant. I worked there for 2 years. My boss was Filipino.
Nice.
And I asked because
what's it called again? You said balut.
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 Okay. Balut.
And usually they're steamed.
They made you eat the eyeballs of the fish.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had whole fish. I never would have ever had the chance to have it. So I would say
I dated a Filipino girl, and I went there, and they were like, "You have to eat the fish."
Yeah, I had balut, and which is funny. I ate it in front of a kid I was taking care of who was special needs, and he looked at me and goes, "You ate the baby."
Fucking Christ, dude! I guess I will. Yeah, this is it though. It's basically a whole ass bird in there.
Yeah, usually it's duck, but if you're in the U.S., it's usually chicken. So it's a fertilized egg. That's probably the bones haven't fully developed. They're still kind of soft. There's no feathers yet.
Look at this poor gentleman's face. He is just like, fuck, dude, I'm about to eat this.
Usually served with salt and vinegar. That's it.
That's it?
And it's a protein snack.
What does it taste like? Have you had it
It
without
tastes-
the salt and vinegar?
No, I had it just with like a little bit of soy sauce. But honestly,
This kid's eating it with a spoon straight out the egg.
So to be honest, it just tastes like eggs, and with a little bit of chicken. That's really all it tastes like: chicken and eggs.
What's the weirdest food you've ever eaten? Now that I know that you're experienced.
I mean, I grew up not really worried about what I try. Like I grew up with hunters.
Yeah.
I've had squirrel, but for years they didn't tell me it was squirrel. They said, "Oh, that's chicken." It's like,
Can't
okay.
eat squirrel brains.
Shout out to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Samwise.
But you've had squirrel. What else is some weird shit you've eaten, dude? I've had probably the weirdest thing I've had is menudo.
I want to try menudo. I don't know where I would trust the place to get it. I had balut.
South. You'd want to go south.
Oh,
You'd
yeah.
want to be in like Georgia, Texas. Texas is good menudo.
Yeah. This is gonna make you laugh because of the irony. I'm kind of hesitant to try Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh, balls.
Yeah.
You'd be good. Handle it like a champ.
My mom says
Handle it like a veteran.
my mom's had turkey balls, and she says she raves about, man, turkey nuts are good.
What the fuck, mom? Dude, I gotta meet your mom. She sounds like my
She
kinda...
is fun. I've had pig brains; those are good.
Will she have an occasional beverage like a Busch Light per se?
She
a BL?
quit drinking when she started going to church before the baptism. She hasn't drank since.
Really? She sounds like a killer lady, dude.
She was a nurse for 20 years, and she has chronic pain conditions like fibromyalgia, degenerative disc and joint disease, osteoporosis. She literally has shrunk 4 or 5 inches, since I was a kid.
That happens. You get older.
Have you
And-
seen this?
Yeah, I'm wondering why you're pulling up conjoined twins. Abby and Brittany Hensel
I don't know, maybe a
appear
fetish.
to respond to online. I can't read
No,
it now.
a bunch of online comedians are posting like quick little takes on it, like 2 for the price of 1. They're the only people that can use they them. They're like,
Well, I mean, if you got a guy born with 2 dicks, that's perfect.
I wonder how that works down there.
the
don't
same
wanna
head,
be-
every other organ shared. I wonder if
Does
one,
that make? Does that
can they
make
talk at the same time, or
Yeah.
like what
Oh,
if
yeah,
one's
I mean,
talking
there's
really
documentary-
fast?
Those girls were darlings on TLC and Discovery Channel when I was growing up.
Does this make me a pervert if I'm wondering what their genitalia looks like?
It's
Well,
the
it
same.
looks like just
one hole.
one.
It's not. It's normal.
they
from the
only
neck
share
down.
2 head,
Well,
yeah.
sort of. Yeah.
But is one of them just got married? Is this considered a throuple?
I don't know how that.
I kind of wonder what happens when you get a date with one of them. Like, do you put the blinders on the other?
And
Like
like,
put a bag over her head
and
a
like,
fucking burlap sack.
if they want to have a kid, who do you put on the birth certificate?
What if you only? What if, dude? Hold on.
That's a good question.
Hold on. What if you could like you flipped? I'm getting now. It's getting perverted. What if you like flick one nipple, but and you're trying to turn the
one on, another
but only she feels it over here. So now you gotta like look at this girl in the eye while you're trying to turn. It's
I mean, what if it's kinky like doggy style? You go to smack the ass, it's like wrong cheek.
dude?
Can they look in opposite directions and still drive straight?
What if one is like into BDSM and the other one's just like no, missionary only? That's what
hurts.
Yeah,
it's-
which means like one side will be covered in scars. That's from my lover, and the other side is perfectly clean because she's a Christian.
yeah, my
They go through an emo phase, but you only cut the other side's wrists.
dude. I'm telling
Like,
you.
speaking of perverts, a coworker I used to have when I worked in healthcare, she sadly passed away right before I left that job. She
R.I.P.
told me the story that she wanted me to use on stage because she said when she was a little girl back in the 60s, she was riding with her dad in the pickup truck in the
She was
country.
probably driving in the 60s.
I mean, well, she would have been in like single digit age. I don't know about that. But they look over in the field and there's a pair of brothers who are out there having their way with a hog.
Like fucking it.
Yeah, they're having their way
Nice.
into the hog, and they had placed the hind legs of the hog in their big boots, which happen to be a certain color, which I'll get to. And they're out there, and they're just looking at each other, and she goes, should we do something about this? Like, should we call somebody? So I was like, I looked at her, and was like, her name was Kristen. I was like, let me get this straight. You peeked a pair of perverts porking a pig out in a holler with Porky's precariously propped pig's feet in their purple boots.
Sounds like a Brian intro.
A lot of
At what time did you want to procure the popo to pick him up and pop him in the pokey?
Look at that alliteration, dude.
Right.
That's fucking right here.
Thank you.
Dude,
Brian-
alliteration is one of my favorite
Brian
things.
and them watch somebody fuck what was that in Afghanistan?
What are you talking
From the Eye in the Sky?
Oh, dude, homeboy that was fucking a donkey. So they fucking... Dude, yeah.
Well, Andy saw the donkey show in Mexico.
That's a show. No, but I'll preface with in the black and white military cameras, you don't get a lot of like definition and detail. You see this thing on 4 legs. So I will say, could have been a goat. Jury's out. Don't know. And you don't get any audio. You're just watching it happen. But yeah, homeboy like literally is like middle of the night, like 0300, 3 a.m. for civilians. It's fucking, this dude is like a handful of these 4-legged creatures walking around, which makes me think it was probably goats because they do a lot of goat herding there. But like
shepherding. Yeah,
shepherding. And then there's this one outlier by the fence and he's nibbling or whatever. And here comes homeboy walking in from frame. And then he just drops trow and fucking goes to plow tow, dude. Dude, and
we had another
hammers
guy
down.
on that was ex-military that was talking about their interpreter, and he was dating a girl from like a rival town. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't get along.
Yeah,
and he went all the way over there.
This is what we call a heavy petting zoo.
This
a
is
stroking
the sweaty
zoo.
This is the sweaty zoo.
But this dude went all the way to this girl's house, and she wouldn't come outside, so he like fucked her donkey or something.
Yeah, dude. And
like
then
he said like a donkey show in like Mexico. Like what was it? Tiny Tina's Tiana hangout? What the hell?
I don't like to talk about it. Yeah,
he's got PTSD. He tries to block that
out. In other
out.
words, it wasn't like as fun to watch as like the guys in the movie Clerks 2 got to enjoy.
Exactly, quite the opposite.
And people can die from monsters. I think we covered 100%. One of those.
Yeah, no, but
my god! Like literally, I heard about that. There, people have died from being fucked by horses.
Yeah, that's with horses. With
well, there's two different. They die from the horse dick, but then they can also die from like the horse semen.
Yeah, from infection and whatnot. So the trick that I've gathered from donkey shows, that the knowledge that I've gathered from it, is that it matters the size not of the ween, but of the donk. You tracking? So they're not gonna go get a brazen fucking stallion donk. They're going to go get a fucking handicapped fucking donk with fucking tism and bring him in. You know what I'm saying? Like a run.
So it's like a charity thing. It's like a make-a-wish.
Yeah, he's got rickets.
Yeah, he's got fucking polio. They bring him in. And then nobody, no harm,
he's got
no
a bad back.
Hurt.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Instead of going, it's more like,
might be a mute. He might not make noises at all. I don't know. You know what I mean?
This is definitely an episode I am not going to pitch to my mother.
Don't do that. Yeah.
My mom will be like, she's like, I'm so disappointed in
I'm
you.
ashamed.
My mom, though, she will, like, as sweet as innocent she is, she will, like, roast me. Like, I did a roast some years ago over for a friend of mine. Yes, sadly passed away.
I know a lot of people that have died. That is unfortunate.
It's kind of great. Comedian Big John Richardson, we were doing a roast for him on Veterans Day at the Newburgh American Legion.
Nice. Shout out to the vets.
And another comic came up there, a guy by the name of Longhorn, the comedian. He's out of St. Louis, but he also was a military vet himself. And he came up there, and so he's talking about, like, what's with you white boys talking about all this dick? It's like, I know you're gay and everything, and you're going to go about getting, like, we say dick. Y'all white boys just say cock. What's wrong with you? It's like, is that something you get a lot of? And my mom would yell from the audience, because my mom was there. It's like, he ain't getting paid for it. That's for damn sure.
Nice, dude.
So, one thing that, like, so you put on these events, and so, like, Joe Rogan just opened the club, the Comedy Mothership, in the last 2 years,
Austin.
But they do these things, like, different event nights. So they do, like, the bucket pool night, where people just throw in random ideas and people draw it out.
Ad-lib,
like, are you doing, like, or putting on any of these, like, off the wall, like, comedy workout type events?
I would love to, but the problem is finding a venue willing to take that chance. So I've done a couple improv things, and it was a lot of fun. So back in January, we did this showcase, and one of the comedians had some anxiety issues, and so we had to fill in the very end of the show. So comedian Layson Brooks and Paul Bragan, we got up there, we decided to do this little thing we did, like a Who's Line kind of setup. So it was me and him, and Layson was going to be playing the straight man in this. Me and Paul would play his unruly kids, and Layson's a black man, so he said, you were obviously a foster kid. And then and we're going up there, and the only thing is, the setup was we're unruly kids. He's trying to order food for us at a Burger King. And me and Paul only have 2 lines apiece. We can reuse them as much as we want, but we can only say those 2 lines. And we took it from audience suggestion. Paul's was, do you have any grapes, and how much is that?
Nice. How many times can you say, do you have any grapes?
Yeah, mine wasn't like that at all. Mine was, I like boogers.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was, where's the butt plug?
And you're a parent in this scenario.
Oh, no,
he's a kid.
Oh, you're a child. Okay.
Ordering from Burger King.
And
Nice.
Obviously, special needs.
Right, I was about to.
Asperger's at the minimum.
Yeah, and we were trying to do this whole scene, and the whole time, I'm losing my shit, because I'm just like, because I can't believe, because I can only got 2 lines, and all I can say is, I like boogers, and where's the butt plug?
Where's the butt plug?
And at the same time, Paul's right next to me, he's like, how much is that? Like, you got any grapes? I was like, where's the butt plug?
Yeah. Yeah, also, you got any grapes? What's going on in there?
Do you think that, like, Evansville will get a comedy-only, like, bar?
In the current situation, I don't know if it's sustainable. I really don't, because...
What makes you say that? Let's elaborate on that.
There's a lot of competition. Like there's comedy nights on the weekends, yeah. Then if you have more than one show in a town or city, you're going to be, what are you going to do? You get flip a coin? All right, we're going to someplace else. No, you can't really, it's hard to decide. And then also...
say the Days Grimm gets a venue and we put on a comedy thing every night. Don't you think people would leave that
dude, if
to
you
go
did
to...
comedy... That's what's missing.
That's what's tough is like you can't really do comedy consistently throughout the week because
why not?
During the week, people got jobs and they can't stay out late to come out to show. It's like
you don't do it late; you do it at 7.
Yeah, but 7. That's even sometimes tough. I found that to be tougher. Usually, the ones that are, and also people are not willing to shell out money for admission or cover charges during the week.
Make it free.
Yeah, you can make it free, but then you got to make sure you sell a shit ton of food and drinks.
Well, you do drink specials or food specials to bring people in.
Make it free.
I would say if you had a venue, it'd have to be a double. Have two sets of incomes. You have your nightclub shows, like you can have music, comedy movie nights, open mics, trivia nights. And then during the day, have it actually be a regular restaurant and bar. Daytime drinking and food. That's what you need.
Yeah,
you gotta have revenue streams of some other kind. Just like with YouTubers, podcasters, you gotta be able to diversify your income streams because otherwise, like, you gotta have merch. I really should get into doing merch. I know Andy, his merch sales, since he switched from T-shirts, which cost a lot to produce, he switched to those can koozies that he has now. And last Saturday, we sold $110 worth. Just koozies. Just can koozies.
Yeah, that's wild.
They're $5 a piece.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I'm sitting there like I'm acting like his merch whore. I'm sitting at a back table going, "Get your koozie, $5. Get your koozie, $5."
You got the furry coat on. You got the all the rings on the hand. You're like,
yeah. And then I said, "Get your koozies while you can." Got the comedian to sign them right here. And I did the same thing like several weeks earlier in Linton, Indiana, at a place called Barbary's. I was walking up and down there. I was selling T-shirts for another guy because it was a double headliner show. Andy was headlining and another guy named Tim Bone. And we're going through there. And I'm like, "Get your T-shirts, $25. I got your koozie, $5. And I was like, And it was he did probably a little over $100 in sales on the koozies. And then there was definitely about $100 on T-shirts. And that was pretty good. And then even then we started realizing we need to keep pens with us so we can sign these as we're going through them. Because
I think if you do a comedy, so here's the problem with, like you said, the food. And so if you did a restaurant, if you did like a restaurant and or bar and or comedy show and you're open 6 to 7 days a week, you're right. That's the right way to do it here in Evansville, Indiana. However, what I would have beef with is if, let's say Amy's on Franklin, soon to be Bad Randy's, Very, very soon. Which, by the way, Jeremiah, got to get you back in here soon, dude, because we got to spill the beans on Bad Randy's.
We ought to do it in Bad Randy's.
But that being said, Bad Randy's, aka Amy's on Franklin, just like woke up on a Tuesday and they were like, "Hey, now we're doing comedy 7 days a week, some form or fashion, as well as we will still be." I would be, as a consumer, hesitant. What needs to happen is
you
someone
would just serve drinks and like bar snack food, appetizers.
Right, but what my concern would be is that an existing establishment that has good repertoire in the community then just woke up one day and was like, "We're going to do comedy 7 days a week." That for me doesn't work. And if it doesn't work for me, like mentally, I can't compute. So what would have to happen is you would have to start anew, totally new, build something or buy a place, totally new concept, come out. And if you want to do a restaurant, cool, but make it a bar first, cool. Mm-hmm. Then also a month after your opening, say, "Hey, or even at opening, whatever, but do comedy 6 to 7 days a week." That is going to be what sparks. That is what Evansville is missing, is some form or fashion of comedy running every day of the week.
Oh yeah.
We were just talking about it before this show today because I thought there was going to be a comedy show. The Allen kid from Damsels, first name
Alan Walker.
That's his first name, Walker. Alan Walker, the show I went to last week, he was mentioning, next week the theme will be family, or it'll be bad relationships. And I was like, oh, so we'll record the pod with Dusty on Saturday and then go to the show after. Well, then we found out there was no show.
There's a metal show.
However, that's the problem with Evansville. It's like, if there is a show happening tonight and I find out about it, do I have to drive across town? Is there even a show going on? Where do I find this information? Like, I get,
but I think comedy would
comedy's
only
not
improve in the area.
Yeah, you gotta also you got to figure out how you're going to sell the tickets. Like I switched, like when I was doing things at Jennings last year, I started realizing in order to help with the sales, I started using online ticket services like Eventbrite. That made a huge difference. We were actually able to keep an eye on how many seats to prepare for. The last show we did, which was at Jennings, which was June, was an all-lady show. Really fun time, and we sold out. The day up, right before the actual show date, we sold out 50 tickets. That was great, and
that was an all-woman show.
It was an all-woman.
There's nothing better than a fucking chick that goes on stage and fucking murders.
We wasn't really a headliner because it was a showcase. Mm-hmm. The one who closed out the show was a lady by the name of Amber Clear. She hosts a talk show over in St. Louis as well, like a co-hosting, like Let's Talk St. Louis. And she also runs her own company called The Happiness Enthusiast. She's done a lot of shows. I've worked with her a few times, but she destroyed the room. But leading up to it was great. Janice was on that. A lady by the name of Rebecca Bradfield. Molly Farlander was on that. And it was a great, great show. And everyone had a good time. And I think if you can set up some way to buy tickets ahead of time, pre-sales makes such a difference with trying to get stuff going.
And I believe you, but
I was just thinking about all the levels of comedy that would step up.
A lot of these pre-sale apps, they have their own advertising.
Yeah.
They do their own advertising too, and so it helps with
because they're making a penny. They're making a penny, so they're trying.
Taking a cut off of there. Eventbrite takes a quarter off of it.
But if you had that establishment that did comedy 6 nights a week, look at Crackers in Nashville. They're doing shows with big time headliners. Mm-hmm. Thursday night, the same headliner comes into town, does a Thursday night show, a Friday night show, a Saturday night show, and then either does a Sunday show or leaves. Mm-hmm. But then that only leaves you with potentially Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Well, I feel
those are 4 nights you can do open mic, local comic, local comic.
Like if
they had on Sundays, traditionally in larger cities, Sunday nights were relegated to being called urban nights, which basically meant it's a black comics night. That's it was almost all entirely made up of black comics. And I don't like that either.
I don't like
that. But that's kind of how it turned out in a lot of cities, and they always just gave it a generic term, urban night. Because if you look at clubs, they always seem like on the Sunday shows, it's always a little cheaper than the regular shows. But you also say that the lineup is almost entirely made of black folks.
I just feel like that's like if we had a comedy bar, let's call it, or
Evansville.
venue, but
It
like
needs something like that.
it does because like the only big comics that come through here is like Jeff Dunham, Bert,
They're hitting the Victory
Iggy.
or the Ford Center.
Thank you.
Exactly, but like
I want an intimate fucking setting.
same, but like I
a
want some of
helium.
these bigger comedians. Like okay, Bert comes through here, but Tom Segura doesn't. Andrew Schultz doesn't. Tony Hinchcliffe doesn't. Like all these people when they tour, they go right past us.
There's no place that is set up properly. Like I would say if there was a club, I'd say like best location, Green River.
Close to the airport, actually. Probably best.
That actually might be good too. Green River or close to the airport. Near
Centrally located in the town of Evansville. Also, your out-of-towners can land, get their fucking Uber, drive for 5 minutes to the venue.
Yep, and optimally, you kind of want if you wanted for seating capacity that was manageable, you want it to be ranging between roughly 80 and 150.
I wouldn't go over 200, yeah.
Or 80 to 150 for a town of this size would be pretty good.
150
Would you do
is a
2
lot.
rooms?
2 rooms, in a way, yeah, because you want a room where people can eat. That's separate. That's usually the bar room, because you also want your bar separate from the showroom.
True.
Think about this. This is something that I've heard. Like if you are, whatever you're doing, touring shows, and you're at clubs that have just basically one big room. A good example of that is Zany's in Chicago.
Never been.
It's all one room.
Nice.
When you have all one room, you got one problem: the bartender. You have to make good friends with the bartender because the bartender has control over the blender for mixed drinks.
Yeah.
Think about that. If the bartender doesn't like you or you pissed him off sometime, he'll wait till you get near a key point or something. That's on a... Anyway, so 2 guys going...
Sorry, got a pina colada, table 5.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing.
Fuck you, bitch.
If you have a separate bar area, like the Caravan in Louisville, they have that. They have a small bar room area which they use for smaller open mics if they don't have a big turnout.
Yeah.
They'll convert that into a little area. They even have this little stage that they bring out from the back. That's probably about size of a
For small people.
yeah, size for like a shipping pallet. That's the size of the stage. They'll just bring it out here, set it up, and then there'll be like a little small room, and that's where the bar is. And then the club area, the actual club, it's where all the comedy is. They don't have to worry about any sound pollution coming in. It all keeps it nice and hermetically sealed, so to speak.
No, I like that. Hermetically sealed is a very good way to put it. And also, I love comedy so much, I would hate to like open it. I wouldn't want to be the one that opens a comedy because running a comedy place.
And your best bet is to actually keep it.
But
Is like getting it. I know it sounds sad because everyone loves mom and pop supporting local businesses, but if you actually become a franchise of a chain, you have a source of
You'd have bigger headliners that would want to come in.
that, and also they're handling your booking for your weekends for you, which means it leaves you open to have control over the rest of the week.
yeah, like
So
if
you
you
can support your local guys, and then
up
weekends.
in Brown County, you get a hold of that homeboy that does crackers up in Brown County, or is it? Do they have a crackers in Brown County? I think
There's only one Crackers. It's in Indianapolis.
Oh, it's not in Brown County.
No.
There's a franchise up in Brown County.
I know there's
an Attic.
There's the Comedy Addict in Bloomington. There's Gutties, which is in Greenfield. Gutties is a clean comedy only event place, and then Indianapolis has a couple of venues. They have a Helium. They used to have a place called Morty's, but that's since closed.
You could get a hold of the guys that own Helium and be like, "Hey, I have a city of 300,000 people that need a place to do comedy 6 days a week."
Helium is a big chain now. There's probably I think 30.
I've been to the
around
one in
US.
I've been to the one in the mall at St. Louis, and it's really, really nice. It's
Then there used
very
to
well
be,
done.
There used to be like the Funny Bones they had a location here that was on Green River. I went to that before they closed down. That was my first club show. And then there's the Comedy Zone. There's Bonkers. Bonkers is a massive chain. It's not so much they have brick and mortars. They book mostly casinos.
Let's play a fun game. Let's play a fun game where you run into $500,000.
Oh God!
It lands in your pocket, And pop-up comedy can now become a tangible, physical brick and mortar type thing. So would you, if you had the choice, buy into a franchise or with the perk of, obviously everything we've just spoken about, or would you stay mom and pop and keep it Pop-Up Comedy Club or give it some kind of cool, fun name or whatever? Yeah. Would you do a mom and pop style, or would you go to Helium and be like, hey, I have $500,000. I want to open a comedy club in Evansville, Indiana?
But there's pros and cons to both. Like if you go with a chain, yeah, you have the guarantee that you're going to have a steady stream of big names that'll draw massive amounts of people. But at the same time, when you have these big names, they're going to have big price tags.
Yeah.
Like a good example is Ryan E. Miller. He's from Indiana. He, the Cripple Threat of Comedy. I'm sure that I know that it's an upper that he will charge for doing one night shows in a lot of clubs.
For a one nighter?
Yeah. It's considered average. I mean, I've heard, I don't want to drop too many names because I'm not exactly sure. Cause I know Donnie Baker, before he passed,
yeah.
I heard of a show he did in a small bar in Illinois, not too far from here, maybe about a 45-hour drive. Ooh.
But if you had that franchise behind you, you've got that money and you've got the contact.
Yeah, that's true.
So that guy, Ryan E. Miller, hears, Helium, where? Indianapolis? Oh, Evansville? $4,000, $5,000, $9,000, the whole weekend? Okay,
then
sign me up.
Think about your seating capacity and then how much you're going to charge. Some people might not want to put the money for the ticket price.
You're going to eat it. You need to budget that for your first 5 years. You need to eat every bit of $500,000 for the first 5 years.
And then, but if you start off with mom and pop, the benefits of a mom and pop is you're going to be more welcomed by a community.
And it's more unique, too.
Yeah, because, there's, good example, Planet of the Tapes in Louisville.
Yeah.
That is a very unique venue. It's modeled after make you feel like you're in an old video store. Mm-hmm. They do comedy on the weekends, but they also do other things. They have movie nights and they do themed movie nights where it'll be like B-movie horror or comedy or old musicals, because they'll do a show tune specials, stuff like that. And they also have the trivia nights. They kind of vary it up. They'll bring in a battle of the bands midway through the week, which, I think that's a great idea. And you could bring in middle of the week, a comedy band come into it. I would say if I was going to model it, I wouldn't use Pop-Up Comedy Club because Pop-Up Comedy Club is its own separate thing. It's when you think
it's made for mobility.
Yeah. And I would probably have that as as a side business where I'd probably get a professional van that's, all decked out with advertising and then have a bunch of gear and actually have maybe a blow up tent.
Hell yeah.
Have that all in there. Just keep it all self-contained. And
maybe
then
a bouncy house.
Like how they do carnivals.
Yeah,
dude.
Or those weddings, the wedding videos that they put out in the middle of a park.
Oh, yeah.
The big tent, and then you're like, hey, get the traveler, get the statewide liquor license. You can do whatever.
By the way, who's planning a wedding and they're like, hey, also, how can we have this wedding and ruin 20 to 250 people's day simultaneously? Oh, I got it. Let's do it in the middle of the fucking park.
Yeah.
You fucking twats. God.
Oh, yeah. Because then you get the wayward kid coming in there. It's like, is this grape juice? It's it's made from grapes. It's called wine.
It's made from Jesus' blood. Drink up. No, I don't know, man. I think it's fascinating to think about. I think Evansville is if it keeps trending this way, we are very due for a comedy hub of some sort. Yeah, and who pulls the trigger on it is going to need $500,000 minimum.
I would say that if you wanted to have the bankroll to help, you would have to have an investment probably from the casino. The casino is also, they'd have their own facilities there that you wouldn't have to do a whole lot of work when remodeling.
It'd be nice to have it downtown too.
And then also you get the runoff from gamblers.
Yeah, all those drunken dudes that just lost $300 of their wife's paycheck.
Yeah, and because because it's in a gambling facility, the casino's going to make the tickets cheap because they're going to be like, "Oh, we're going to come here for the show, but first let's go lose half our mortgage over on the craps tables."
And you're looking up. So Tom's over here looking up models for how much would it cost to open a comedy club. That $235 is very conservative. I think if you wanted to do it right, you would have to have multiple owners, and you would shoot before you even sign any ink to paper to have $500,000 disposable from Git.
Yep.
And then you search for your location, then you search for your venue, then you search for interior design, and then you search for all this other stuff that is eventually going to wind up being $500,000 will.
Then you also got to think about your kitchen staff too.
It will disappear.
And the licensing for food and alcohol.
Like for instance,
say you get away with it for $235,000, you need to use that other $165,000 or whatever it would be. Yeah, $165,000 for like you said, your staff that you're gonna have to pay for the whole year.
Oh yeah,
if you don't break even.
Yeah, and then and the food quality makes a big difference. So you guys ever been to the Louisville Comedy Club?
I've not. No.
Down there, it's on Main Street. Real fancy. It's part of a chain, but each location's named for the city that they're in. Like they have also one over in Fort Wayne. It's called Summit City.
Okay.
But Louisville Comedy Club, I've only been there once. Me and Andy went there for an open mic a year or so ago, and it's one of those places because of their location. It's on Main Street. It's downtown Louisville. They have to make every ounce of money they can, so they have a 2-item minimum, whether it be drinks or food.
Most comedy clubs are like that.
Not always. There's some that don't. But
Helium's like that.
Yeah, I will say they had we got decided to get because we weren't going to drink alcohol because we never knew which person was going to be driving the way back.
Double me up on the French fries.
Their appetizer. I kid you not. We bought 2 appetizers.
Yeah.
And we bought 2 sodas, and it ran us $40.
They're not cheap.
No, but I will say this: they had these beer cheese pretzel bites.
Mm-hmm.
Probably I had a mini orgasm from that beer cheese. I was like, oh my god!
I'm right there with you.
How the hell did I never thought there would be? Then
I'm in the room.
And then they had these bacon mac and cheese bites.
Bruh.
I almost moaned. Like during the show, like, yeah, they brought it over to us, and I was like,
oh. Yeah, the thing I will say about the expensive items in these franchise clubs is that you also have to keep in mind that you're getting to see an A-list celebrity comedian for $20.
Oh yeah, and the Louisville Comedy Clubs, they have a deal. The Louisville Comedy Club, that chain, like Bark Entertainment, they have locations. Their original locations are in Washington State, Spokane and Tacoma.
Shout out to Washington.
They have like a working deal with folks that get like big names like Jay Muse from Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
He's gone through there several times in Louisville, and I've been wanting to go see that so bad.
Yeah, man. He survived cancer?
Drug addiction. Like he had like major.
He looks rough lately, but I thought Corey was telling me, my brother was telling me he survived something.
That's the club. That is probably one of the most beautiful clubs I've ever been in my life.
That's the way it should be done, and that's a $500,000 club.
Oh, that's way more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying if you wanted to build something close to that in Evansville, you're looking at the $500,000 price.
Oh yeah, and they also have flames on it. There's candles on every single table, which I'm like, how the hell does the fire marshal let that?
They let it ride, man.
And they're like, you're going to trust people with alcohol and near an open flame? How the... Yeah. I couldn't figure that out for life.
And a guy on stage that's going to joke about small people. Like, fucking dude, this is going to get unruly fast.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, man. I think it's fun to think about. I think it will happen. I think we're on the verge. I think we're right on the horizon of a comedy hub in Evansville.
There's so many things that have to come together all at once. It's like the perfect storm. You need investors. You need to have a great connections with a strong lineup of comedians that you could just call on a drop of a hat. Yeah. You got to have good connections with all the local comedians.
That's true.
Because they're going to be your
openers.
They're going to be your openers, but they're also going to be your word of mouth.
They'll be your headliners throughout the week. So that is,
Or they can host different events like Bottom of the Bucket or
Yeah.
Tuesday,
crowd work or whatever.
you know, whose line is it anyways? Wednesdays,
Improv
whatever.
night, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's interesting. I think it's fun to think about, and I really do. I think Evansville's right on the cusp, and if it doesn't happen in 5 years, I'm leaving this fucking city. Because honestly, I need more comedy, and it fucking. I hate having to travel to go see these big names.
I'm safe. I don't live here.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. So what do you got? What do you got coming up? What do you got going on as far as like on the speaking of on the horizon? What do you got coming up that you want to tell the folks about? Dates or anything that?
I currently don't have any dates lined up right now, mainly because it's coming up on summer, and summer is like the slowest time. But I'm trying to get in talks with some organizations. Like I'm also going to be trying to get more community-oriented events going. I'd love to start some open mics. I did have an open mic one night. It was a tester. It was kind of spare of the moment in Petersburg, where I live. But I want to get more of these events, more open mics to happen outside of the Evansville area.
Okay.
Because I want to bring them out there because I want to get people the idea that, yeah, you could come out here and you could still entertain a crowd. Because also, if you do the same town over and over again, they're going to eventually start to get wise to your material and realize, like, oh, you need to write more.
Well, and you got to go to different areas to polish a bit, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to, go to Petersburg, trial out your new handicap joke. Go to Marion, Illinois, and try out your new fucking traffic joke. If you want to go to Henderson, Kentucky, and try out your new fucking
Henderson sucks joke.
Yeah, this sign on the downtown Henderson area is fucking retarded joke.
Yeah, like I came to Kentucky, I wanted to try the bluegrass, but every time grass I've smoked, like right now, all it does is make me taste Roundup.
Yeah, no joke, dude. I don't know, man. So no dates as of right now, but you're working on some stuff. And where can people find out where to, if you were to post some dates, where would be the best place for them to go?
Pop-Up Comedy Club on Facebook.
Okay.
Make sure you pick the one that has the purple boundary on the logo, because there's two other ones, but they are not in the U.S. I'm the only one in the U.S.
Okay, dude. And yeah, I really love that you got this going on, man. It really it helps people put their finger to the pulse of what is comedy, even if it has nothing to do with you, like in your pinned statement that you have here. As you may know, comedy may be a competitive industry with new and rising stars, et cetera, et cetera. And then you go on to list the places that are doing comedy and when and where and all that jazz. I think that's great.
I want everyone to succeed. Like we always like.
They're all your friends at the end of the day. You know all of them.
Oh yeah,
for the most part. You know what I mean? So, and speaking of knowing all of them, we need to both get to know that Zach Pollard guy. I need to get him in here. So you need to meet him because he's funny, and I need to meet him because I need to meet him again because he needs to get in here.
Like if I get when I get some stuff lined up, I'll make sure to let you guys know, and maybe we can work out some deals. So
I'm about it, man. I'm about it.
Some international flavor because. I got a buddy of mine. He's Mexican. He lives in South Texas, and I had him come up twice last year, do like a slew of shows, and man, he destroyed it. He's been on like Telemundo, Estrella TV, and all kinds of stuff.
I'm about it, dude. I love that Mexicana fucking humor, dude.
I want to do a Spanish language show. Like if anyone out there, please reach out to me. I would love to find a venue that would be willing to let us do a Spanish language comedy show. I've got comics who are bilingual that would love to just do that for their community, but there's just nowhere to do it.
No, I get it. But yeah, so as we're coming to a close here, man, last couple minutes is really all you. So as far as like any shout outs or plugs, or like you said, if you know anybody that has dates coming up that you wanted to mention, so it's all you the last couple minutes.
Hey, if you want to hear some good comedy and you want to enjoy a good show with great people, I do recommend seeking out the places that are mentioned on the webpage. You know, got Kimberly Lynn's shows that she puts on over at someplace else, but she also has a second room that's now over in Robinson, Illinois. Okay. And then Damsel's Brew Pub with Alan Walker, Rooftop. Andy Russell helps put those together, and there's also Academy. That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Academia or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Owensboro at Frozen Lounge. They do shows periodically, and then Vincennes. There's Janice Barniak's events that she puts on over at the Vincennes Brewing Company, and then of course, last Thursday, they now starting to try to do some more stuff with the Red Skeleton Performing Arts Center. That's a really great venue. A 3-tier theater that actually seats more than the Victory.
Shit. Yeah, baby boy. What's up, man? Any shout outs you got, man? Anybody you want to say thank you to? Or
thanks to everybody. Andy M., like Chris Izzy, Janice Barniak, Paul Bragan, Kimberly Lynn, all you guys. There's so many that I honestly don't have the time to name all of them. But thank you. And thank you to my family. You know, they've been greatly supportive. And
especially your violent mother.
My mother, who is she's like the church lady.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom, for skipping over the donkey fucking.
Oh yeah, skipping over the donkey fucking, but hey, don't worry, Mom. Remember, in May for your birthday, I got you tickets to go over to that roast of Jerry the King Lawler over at the National Guard Armory.
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I want to see that. I want to see Jerry Lawler so bad. I've always wanted to meet him. I met his son before he passed away. God dang it.
Yeah, you know, so many people that have died. Also, Jerry Lawler has to be like 109 years old by now.
He's in his 70s, but he kind of has to stop wrestling because he had a stroke last year.
Dude, honestly, man, Mr. Bubba, aka Bubba, Dusty, dude, I can't
That's
say
Mr. Bubba for sure. Yeah.
you could have done anything for the last 2 hours, brother. But you were kind enough to come in for a second time and sit down with the Days Grimm.
I will say your catering sucks because I thought that was like nachos, but turns out it was just like wood chips.
Yeah. That's just sawdust and sadness, basically.
Yeah, I still taste more sadness than sawdust.
Yeah, and a lot of knee bruising happening.
Yeah,
there,
when I saw those knee bruises,
injuries.
I thought you started a new career.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to take away from Tom's specialty. So, no, man, but you could have done anything for the last 2 hours, so we greatly appreciate you coming down for a second time, having a chat with us, letting the folks know what's going on, and really just touching base and catching up with you. So
yeah, great coming back here. I mean, who knows, maybe another year from now, I'll come back again. We'll have more things to talk about, and who knows, maybe then I might be like...
If you start getting some events lined out in 6 months, hit us up. We'll get you back on.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, I want to be there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if anything, I may have to ask you guys for pointers on setting up any more new PA system I got.
Oh, dude, I got you. I got the audio shit squared away, dude. I've learned so much doing this podcast. But Tom, do you got any last minute questions, sir? How are you? You good over there?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
good over here, dude. Do you have any last minute questions for us? You want to
Boxers or briefs or commando?
free balling currently?
Boxers.
Boxers.
Gotta keep them tied after.
What do you got going on?
Underwire.
I do the bombshells. They're Victoria's Secret. They're very expensive. Well, you need that extra lift. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you need the lift. I mean, the girl's got to get some attention. You know.
What do? Do you do bike? He can fucking dance him. Shut the fuck.
Terry Crews, eat your heart out.
You should do 5 minutes of just that.
Oh, yeah, wait. Is there like a non-copywritten form of Crazy Train? We got
No, we can't. We would get fucking sued.
Yeah, Christmas song, maybe Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells. I got tassels in the car.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, seriously, thank you seriously so much. I greatly appreciate your time. It's been nothing short of a splendid adventure today.
Oh, thank you. I was really happy to come out here.
We learned a lot about one another.
And I will not tell any church-going members of my family that I was here.
Don't maybe fucking don't do that. All right, guys, this has been another thrilling episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm, and this has been Dustin, a.k.a. Bubba Madison.
Oh yeah, baby.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.